Nathan Chen stared at the acceptance email for the 10th time that morning. MIT's International Exchange Program had finally assigned him a roommate for his graduate studies, but something felt off about the whole thing. The name on the housing form looked like someone had thrown a keyboard down a flight of stairs. Zixia Nanvar, apparently from a country he'd never heard of. He pushed back from his desk in the small Cambridge apartment, running his fingers through his disheveled black hair. The autumn wind rattled the windows of his fifth-floor unit, carrying with it the familiar sense of coffee and exhaust from the street below. His phone buzzed. Another email from the exchange office, this one marked urgent. Please ensure room temperature remains constant at exactly 295.15 Kelvin, 22 degrees Celsius / 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Essential for incoming students' health condition. Nathan frowned. Who measures room temperature in Kelvin outside of the lab? As a quantum engineering student, he appreciated precision, but this seemed excessive. He checked his thermostat, adjusted it slightly, and went back to unpacking his own belongings. His new roommate wasn't due until tomorrow, giving him time to settle in first. The night passed uneventfully, but Nathan woke to something strange. The air felt different, heavier somehow, with an odd metallic taste. The digital thermometer on his nightstand showed the temperature had dropped to 18 degrees Celsius despite the thermostat settings. A soft humming came from the second bedroom, which should have been empty. Nathan's scientific curiosity overcame his caution. He approached the closed door, noticing a faint blue light seeping from underneath. The humming grew louder, accompanied by what sounded like whispered calculations in a language he'd never heard before. He knocked gently. "Hello? Are you my new roommate?" The humming stopped abruptly. After a moment of silence, a melodic voice responded, "Yes. I apologize for arriving early. There was a miscalculation in the transit schedule." "No problem," Nathan replied, though something about the voice made the hair on his arms stand up. It seemed to resonate at an unusual frequency. "I'm Nathan. Would you like to come out and have some coffee?" A pause. "I require approximately 7.3 minutes to complete my environmental calibration. Your patience would be appreciated." Nathan's engineering mind kicked into high gear. Environmental calibration. The precise temperature requirements, the humming, the metallic taste in the air. Pieces of a puzzle began fitting together in his head. Exactly 7.3 minutes later, the door opened. Nathan found himself face to face with a being that redefined his understanding of international student. Zixia stood slightly taller than him, with silvery skin that seemed to shift colors like oil on water. Their eyes were entirely black except for pinpricks of white light that served as pupils, and what looked like fine crystal filaments floated around their head like hair in a breeze. Except there was no breeze. Nathan's jaw dropped, but his first words weren't about Zixia's appearance. "You're using a localized gravity field to maintain your body's molecular structure in Earth's atmosphere, aren't you?" That's what the humming was. Zixia's crystalline filaments rippled in what might have been surprise. "You understood that." The documents indicated humans hadn't developed gravity manipulation technology yet. "We haven't," Nathan replied, excitement overriding his shock. "But the theoretical framework exists. I'm actually writing my thesis on quantum field manipulations in variable gravity environments." He paused, realization hitting him. "Though I guess my research might need some updating now." A sound like wind chimes emerged from Zixia. Laughter, Nathan guessed. "Perhaps we can help each other. I'm here to study human approaches to quantum mechanics. Your species has some unique perspectives that interest my people." Before Nathan could respond, a warning light began flashing on what he now recognized as an environmental suit wrapped around Zixia's torso. The humming turned to a high-pitched whine, and Zixia's form began to flicker. "The gravity field is destabilizing," they said, their melodic voice distorting. "Earth's gravitational pull is stronger than our calculations suggested." Nathan's mind raced. The gravity field wasn't just for comfort. It was keeping Zixia's molecular structure intact. Without it, they could literally fall apart. He darted to his room, grabbed his laptop, and began typing furiously. Your field generator, it's using quantum tunneling to maintain coherence, right? His fingers flew across the keyboard as he pulled up his thesis research. If we modify the field's frequency to match Earth's gravitational wave pattern instead of fighting it. Zixia moved to look at his screen, their crystalline filaments drooping. Yes, but the calculations would take too long to process with my failing systems. Not if we use my quantum algorithm simulator, Nathan said, already adapting his research code. I've been working on it for my thesis. It's designed to predict quantum field behaviors in theoretical gravity wells. We can use it to find the right frequency. The next few minutes were a blur of calculations and coding. Nathan's program churned through possibilities, while Zixia provided crucial variable adjustments. Just as the alien's form began to seriously distort, Nathan's laptop displayed a solution. Input this frequency. He turned the screen to show a string of numbers. Zixia's fingers, long and delicate, moved across their suit's control panel. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the warning light turned green, and the humming settled into a barely perceptible vibration that harmonized perfectly with Earth's natural gravitational frequency. That was remarkable, Zixia said, their form solidifying again. You adapted your theoretical research to solve a practical problem with technology you've never seen before. Their head tilted slightly. Perhaps this is why they chose Earth for the exchange program. You humans have an unusual ability to, what's your phrase? Think outside the box. Nathan grinned, adrenaline still coursing through him. Well, I guess this makes us even for the quantum mechanics tutoring you'll be giving me. He paused. Though we might want to discuss how we're going to explain to the housing office why we need to maintain such exact temperature control. The crystalline sound of Zixia's laughter filled the apartment again. I believe this arrangement will be most educational for both of us. Nathan looked at his laptop, then back at his alien roommate. His thesis was definitely going to need some revisions, assuming he could publish any of this at all. But as he watched Zixia examining their surroundings with obvious fascination, he knew this year would teach him far more than just quantum mechanics. So, he said, about that coffee. 2 weeks into the fall semester, Nathan found himself marveling at how quickly the extraordinary could become routine. Making breakfast while his alien roommate absorbed nutrients through their crystalline filaments. Normal. Discussing quantum mechanics homework while helping Zixia understand why humans found cats entertaining. Just another Tuesday. The real challenges came from keeping Zixia's true nature hidden from the rest of MIT. They'd developed a cover story involving a rare genetic condition that required carefully controlled environmental conditions, explaining both the constant temperature requirements and Zixia's unusual appearance. Most people were too polite to ask questions, but Professor Sarah Martinez from the quantum physics department had been showing an unusual amount of interest lately. Your paper on gravitational wave harmonics is fascinating, Mr. Chen, she said after class one day, her dark eyes intense behind wire-rimmed glasses, especially your theoretical models on stabilizing quantum fields within variable gravity environments. One might almost think you had practical experience with such technology. Nathan kept his expression neutral, remembering the night he'd helped stabilize Zixia's environmental suit. Just theoretical applications, Professor. Though I'd love to see practical implementation someday. Indeed. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Your roommate's research seems to complement yours quite well. Their insights into quantum field theory are remarkably advanced for an exchange student. Before Nathan could respond, his phone buzzed with an urgent text from Zixia. Environmental systems fluctuating. Require assistance immediately. I'm sorry, Professor, I need to go. My roommate has a medical condition I help monitor. He hurried from the classroom, feeling Martinez's gaze following him. When Nathan reached their apartment, he found Zixia's normally iridescent skin had turned a dull gray. The air crackled with unstable energy, and their crystalline filaments were rigid with stress. Something's interfering with the gravitational field, Zixia explained, their melodic voice distorted. It's as if someone is generating the competing field nearby. Nathan's mind raced. Could someone be replicating your technology? Impossible. Unless, Zixia's luminescent eyes widened. Unless they're not from Earth either. The implications hit Nathan like a physical blow. Professor Martinez, she's been asking questions about our research about you. She knows more than she should. We need to adjust the field frequency again. But if someone is actively interfering, Zixia's form flickered alarmingly. Nathan grabbed his laptop, fingers flying across the keyboard. Maybe we don't need to fight the interference. Remember how we synchronized with Earth's gravity? We could try to harmonize with the competing field instead. That would require detecting its exact frequency first, Zixia said. My systems are too compromised to scan effectively. Nathan looked around their apartment, mind churning through possibilities. His eyes landed on his old guitar in the corner, and an idea struck. What if we use sound to find the frequency? Like using resonance to tune an instrument. He grabbed the guitar and began plucking strings while watching Zixia's reaction. When he hit a particular note, their crystalline filaments vibrated in response. There. That's harmonizing with whatever's affecting you. If we convert that sound frequency to its gravitational equivalent. He plugged the numbers into his quantum algorithm simulator. Zixia input the resulting calculations into their suit, and gradually their color returned to normal. The air settled, though Nathan could still feel a subtle vibration throughout the apartment. Brilliant adaptation, Zixia said, their voice returning to its normal melodic tones, using basic Earth technology to detect advanced quantum frequencies. No one from my world would have thought of that approach. Sometimes the simplest solution is the best one, Nathan replied, though his mind was already working on bigger problems. But we need to figure out who else is here and what they want. Professor Martinez may not be who she appears to be, Zixia finished, though her interference pattern doesn't match any species I'm familiar with. It's more complex, almost like a knock at their door cut off the conversation. Through the peephole, Nathan saw Professor Martinez standing in the hallway, her usual professional demeanor replaced by an urgency he'd never seen before. Mr. Chen, Mr. Envar, we need to talk. Earth's security has been compromised, and you're both in danger. Nathan looked at Zixia, who nodded slowly. Her energy signature. It's similar to mine, but fundamentally different. I believe she's telling the truth about the danger, but she's definitely not human either. As Nathan reached for the door handle, he realized life was about to become even more complicated than living with an alien roommate. But somehow, he couldn't bring himself to regret any of it. This was exactly the kind of challenge he'd always dreamed of, a chance to push the boundaries of human knowledge and capability. Ready? He asked Zixia. Their crystalline filaments rippled in what Nathan now recognized as determination. Together, they replied. Nathan opened the door, ready to face whatever new revelations awaited them. After all, he'd already helped solve one impossible problem today. What was one more? Professor Martinez's revelation turned Nathan's already extraordinary life upside down. As they sat in his apartment's living room, the woman he'd known as his quantum physics professor shed her human appearance like a coat, revealing a being composed of shifting geometric patterns and soft golden light. I am Sentinel Corel, she said, her voice now carrying harmonics that made Nathan's teeth vibrate. I represent the Galactic Security Council, and I've been monitoring Earth since we detected unauthorized technological transfers. Zixia's crystalline filaments bristled. My presence here is fully authorized by the Exchange Initiative. Yes, Corel agreed, her geometric form pulsing with concern. But you're not the only non-human at MIT. The Vrexkari have infiltrated Earth's leading research institutions, stealing human innovations and corrupting them with advanced technology. Nathan leaned forward. Why would advanced aliens want human technology? We're centuries behind you. Corell's patterns shifted to what might have been appreciation. Because, Mr. Chen, humans think differently. You solve problems in ways we'd never consider. Like using a guitar to detect quantum frequencies. She gestured at the instrument still lying on the floor. The Vrexkeri recognized this value. But instead of cultural exchange, they're weaponizing human creativity. The quantum lab break-in last month, Nathan said suddenly. That wasn't normal corporate espionage, was it? No. They stole prototype quantum processors. Basic technology by our standards, but human-designed. They're building something that combines human intuitive problem-solving with advanced alien science. Something that could destabilize the entire sector. Nathan paced the room, his mind racing through implications. That's why my gravitational wave harmonics paper interested you. You thought I might be working with them. Until I realized you developed those theories independently, with help from your legitimate exchange student. Corell's form brightened. Your solution to Zixia's environmental crisis proved your innovations were purely human. We need to stop them, Zixia said. But my people's protocols forbid direct intervention in human affairs. Nathan stopped pacing, an idea forming. Then don't intervene. Let me do it. When both aliens turned to stare at him, he continued, think about it. They're stealing human technology. Who better to stop them than a human? Absolutely not. Corell's patterns turned sharp with alarm. The Vrexkeri are dangerous. Their technology is being combined with human technology, Nathan interrupted. Which means I might understand it better than you. Plus, they'll never suspect a human student of being the threat. Zixia's filaments swayed thoughtfully. He's right. And he's already demonstrated a remarkable ability to adapt alien technology using human methods. I can't officially sanction this, Corell said, but her patterns had shifted to something more contemplative. The Council's protocols. A distant explosion cut her off, followed by blaring alarms from the quantum physics building visible through Nathan's window. Dark figures moved through the emergency lights, carrying something from the labs. The Vrexkeri. Corell's form pulsed with urgency. They're accelerating their timeline. Nathan was already grabbing his laptop and the modified sensor he'd been building based on his work with Zixia's environmental suit. Then we better accelerate ours. Zixia, can you tune your gravity field to mask our approach? And Professor, sorry, Sentinel Corell, we'll need a distraction. This is against so many protocols, Corell muttered, but her form was already shifting back to human appearance. What exactly do you have in mind? Nathan grinned, the familiar rush of problem-solving energy coursing through him. They're combining human and alien technology. Let's show them they're not the only ones who can do that. But first, we need to make a quick stop at the music department. Zixia's crystalline laugh chimed through the tension, using sound waves again. With some modifications, Nathan grabbed his guitar and started removing the strings. Ever heard of resonant frequency weapons? Humans figured out they could shatter bridges with the right sound waves centuries ago. Now imagine that principle applied to quantum field generators. As they hurried from the apartment, Nathan felt strangely calm despite the chaos unfolding around them. This was what humans did best, taking existing ideas and recombining them in ways no one else had considered. The Vrexkeri thought they could exploit human creativity. He was about to show them just how creative humans could be. You know, he said as they raced across campus, my thesis committee is going to have a lot of questions about where I got my research data. Assuming we survive, Zixia noted dryly, their filaments rippling with what Nathan now recognized as affectionate amusement. Oh, we'll survive. Nathan patted his jury-rigged sensor. I've got a quantum physics final next week, and I'm not letting some alien technology thieves make me miss it. Behind them, Corell made a sound that might have been a laugh or a sigh. The Council really underestimated humans, didn't they? Everyone does, Nathan replied, his mind already racing through calculations and possibilities. That's what makes us dangerous. The MIT campus had transformed into a battlefield of shadows and strange energies. Nathan, Zixia, and Corell crouched behind the music building's back entrance, watching dark figures move equipment from the quantum physics lab into what appeared to be an ordinary delivery van. Except ordinary vans don't distort the air around them like a heat mirage. "I count 6, Vrex Carey," Corell whispered, her human disguise flickering slightly. "They're using phase shift technology to stay invisible to human eyes." "Not for long," Nathan muttered, making final adjustments to his modified guitar. He'd removed the strings and attached sensors from his quantum field detector, converting the body into a makeshift resonance chamber. Cables connected it to his laptop, where his gravity wave harmonics program ran modified versions of the algorithms he'd used to help Zixia. "Their phase shift technology depends on quantum field manipulation, right?" he asked, typing rapidly. "So if we can disrupt those fields, they'll become visible to everyone," Zixia finished, their crystalline filaments rippling with understanding. "But that would expose everything, us included. Sometimes the best hiding place is in plain sight." Nathan checked his calculations one last time. "Besides, humans are pretty good at rationalizing things they don't want to believe. We've been doing it for centuries." Corell's geometric patterns, visible through her flickering disguise, shifted anxiously. "The Council will never approve." "With respect, Sentinel," Nathan interrupted, "they lost their right to approve when they let Earth become a battleground for advanced technology." "Ready?" Both aliens nodded, though Corell's patterns still showed concern. Nathan took a deep breath and activated his modified instrument. At first, nothing seemed to happen. Then a low vibration began building in the air, just at the edge of human hearing. Nathan watched his laptop screen as the program identified and matched frequencies, using the same principles he'd developed to help stabilize Zixia's environmental suit, but in reverse. The air around the Vrex Carey delivery van began to shimmer more intensely. One of the dark figures stumbled, their cloaking field flickering to reveal a tall, angular being with oil-black skin and too many joints in their limbs. "Impossible," the Vrex Carey hissed in a voice like grinding metal. "No human technology should be able to detect our phase shift." "You're right," Nathan called out, stepping into view with his jury-rigged device. "But it's not just human technology, is it? You taught us that combining human and alien science creates something new, something unexpected." The Vrex Carey leader turned toward him, their form fully visible now as Nathan's resonance field continued disrupting their cloaking technology. In the distance, he could hear shouts of surprise as students and faculty noticed the increasingly visible aliens. "Clever human," the leader said, their multiple joints shifting in what might have been appreciation. "You prove our point about your species' potential. Join us. Help us perfect the integration of human innovation with advanced technology." "That's what the exchange program was supposed to be for," Nathan replied, keeping his voice steady despite his pounding heart. "Collaboration, not theft. You're not integrating our technology. You're corrupting it." The leader made a sound like shattering glass. Laughter, Nathan realized. "Corruption? We're improving it. Your quantum processor designs, combined with our phase shift technology, will revolutionize interstellar travel. Think of the possibilities." "I am thinking of them," Nathan said. "I'm thinking of how you stole human innovations instead of working with us openly. How you're trying to weaponize our creativity without understanding why we're creative in the first place." He glanced at Zixia, remembering how they'd solved problems together, each contributing their unique perspectives. "Humans aren't creative because we have better ideas. We're creative because we share them, build on them, challenge them openly. What you're doing, that's not innovation. It's just theft." The Vrex Carey leader raised what appeared to be a weapon. Pretty words, but ultimately meaningless. "Your primitive understanding." They never finished the sentence. Nathan had been counting on their arrogance, their dismissal of primitive human technology. While the leader monologued, his program had finished mapping the quantum frequency patterns of their phase shift technology. With a single keystroke, he launched the second phase of his plan. The modified guitar erupted with a complex harmony of sound and quantum frequencies. The Vrexcary's technological defenses, already weakened by the initial disruption, shattered completely. Their weapons, their stolen equipment, even their basic environmental systems began to fail. But Nathan wasn't done. As the Vrexcary staggered, he activated the subroutine he designed based on his work with Zixia's environmental suit. Instead of destroying their technology completely, he forced it to synchronize with Earth's natural frequencies, just as he'd done weeks ago in his apartment. The effect was immediate and dramatic. The Vrexcary found themselves locked in place, their technology now attuned to Earth's gravitational field instead of fighting against it. They could still breathe and move, but their advanced systems were effectively grounded, prevented from operating in ways that could harm Earth's indigenous field patterns. What? What have you done? The leader demanded, their metallic voice distorted by the forced synchronization. Showed you what real human innovation looks like, Nathan replied, watching as Corell and previously hidden Security Council agents moved in to contain the disabled Vrexcary. We don't just think outside the box. Sometimes we change what the box is entirely. Zixia moved to stand beside him, their crystalline filaments glowing with pride. I believe this will require significant updates to both our research papers. Nathan laughed, the adrenaline of the confrontation finally hitting him. Around them, the campus was in chaos as humans tried to process what they were seeing. News crews were already arriving, drawn by reports of strange lights and sounds at MIT. You know, he said, watching as Corell began coordinating with other disguised council agents. I think it's too late to keep this quiet. Perhaps that's not a bad thing, Zixia suggested. After all, you humans have proven yourselves more than ready for a wider universe. Nathan looked at his laptop, still running the program that had helped save Earth from technological exploitation. A program that combined human theoretical work with alien practical applications, creating something entirely new in the process. Yeah, he agreed, already thinking about the possibilities ahead. I think we have. The weeks following the Vrexcary incident transformed more than just MIT's campus. Nathan sat in his apartment, watching multiple news channels simultaneously covering what the media had dubbed First Contact Day, though it was technically more like First Confirmation Day. Unprecedented cooperation between human and alien scientists. One reporter announced over footage of Zixia explaining quantum field theory to a packed auditorium. Revelation of a decades-long exchange program, said another, showing images of other foreign exchange students finally revealing their true forms at universities worldwide. Stock markets responding positively to potential technological partnerships, declared a third, displaying graphs of surging tech stocks. Nathan muted the broadcasts as Zixia entered, their crystalline filaments glowing with excitement. They no longer needed to hide their true form, though they still maintained their environmental suit, now openly displaying its advanced technology rather than disguising it as medical equipment. The Galactic Council just approved the expansion of the exchange program, they announced, and they want us to help design it. Us. Nathan raised an eyebrow. I thought humans weren't supposed to be involved in council decisions. That policy, like many others, is being reconsidered. Corell's voice came from the doorway. She had abandoned her human disguise entirely, her geometric patterns shifting in what Nathan had learned to recognize as amusement. Your solution to the Vrexcary crisis demonstrated something many council members had forgotten. That humans are more capable than you thought. That innovation comes from diversity, Corell corrected. The Vrexcary failed because they tried to steal human creativity without understanding its source. You succeeded because you embraced collaboration, combining different perspectives to create something new. Nathan thought about the program he created, born from his theoretical work, but transformed through his partnership with Zixia. So what happens now? Now, Zixia's filaments rippled with excitement. Now we build something unprecedented. The Council wants to establish a true exchange of knowledge and culture. Not just students, but researchers, artists, philosophers, representatives from all fields. They're calling it the Convergence Initiative, Carell added, and they want your quantum harmonics research to be the foundation. Your method of synchronizing different technologies instead of forcing them to compete. It's becoming a model for how different species can work together. Nathan stood and walked to his window, looking out at the campus below. Students hurried between classes as always, but now they walked alongside beings from across the galaxy. In the quantum physics lab, he could see human and alien researchers working together, sharing ideas openly and instead of through subterfuge. You know, he said, when I applied to grad school, I thought the biggest challenge would be defending my thesis. Now I'm helping design an interstellar cultural exchange program. Having second thoughts? Zixia asked. Actually, no. Nathan turned back to them, smiling. I'm thinking about all the problems we could solve together. Climate change, disease, space travel. Imagine combining human creativity with advanced alien science, but doing it right this time, through collaboration instead of theft. Carell's patterns brightened. The Council has already approved your proposal for an Earth-based research center. The Massachusetts Institute of Technology and Science, MITx for short. Pretty sure the marketing department will want to workshop that name. Nathan laughed. Then something occurred to him. Wait, my proposal. I haven't submitted any proposal. You will, Zixia said confidently. In about 2 weeks. I've seen the drafts you're working on when you think I'm not looking. Nathan shook his head, amazed at how well his alien roommate had come to know him. So much for keeping some mystery in our relationship. Speaking of relationships, Carell interjected, her patterns forming what might have been a smirk. The Council is very interested in studying how humans form bonds with other species. Your friendship with Zixia has become something of a case study. Wonderful, Nathan groaned. I'm going to end up in a xenosociology textbook, aren't I? Several, actually, Zixia chimed in. But first, we have more immediate concerns, like explaining to the housing office why our apartment now has a quantum research lab in the spare bedroom, and dealing with the media requests, Carell added. Everyone wants to interview the human who turned a guitar into an alien technology-disrupting device. About that, Nathan said, picking up his modified instrument. I've been thinking. The resonance principles we used against the Vrexkari. With some adjustments, they might be perfect for translating different alien languages, sound waves and quantum frequencies working together, just like we do. Zixia's filaments lit up with interest. A universal translator based on quantum harmonics. The implications for cultural exchange. See. Carell's pattern swirled with satisfaction. This is exactly why Earth needed to join the galactic community. You humans never stop innovating, never stop seeing new possibilities. Nathan looked between his alien friends, no, his alien family, and felt a surge of pride, not just in himself, but in humanity's potential. Well, he said, already reaching for his laptop to start working on the translator idea. Someone has to keep the universe interesting. The sound of crystalline laughter mixed with geometric light patterns filled the apartment, a harmony of different species working together. Outside, the sun set on a changed Earth, but Nathan knew this was just the beginning. Humanity had finally taken its place among the stars, not through conquest or technological theft, but through the very qualities that made them human: creativity, adaptability, and an endless desire to understand and connect with the unknown. As he began typing out the first lines of code for his universal translator, Nathan smiled. His thesis title would need yet another revision: Quantum Harmonics, a human approach to universal collaboration. It wasn't what he'd expected to write when he started grad school, but then again, the best discoveries often came from unexpected places. Like finding out your alien roommate would help you change the world.